All right, so today I am wrapping up the layout on the cabin, and the way I have this right now, you can see my string line here. I chose my south side, so stake to stake. That's the line that I had set. So that was my very first line. Measured out my depth of the cabin. Okay. Then came over here, and I was doing this by myself. So I did the 3, 4, 5 rule in the corner in order to get this layout square off the bat for me. So what you do is you measure 3 feet back on this set line. You know what your width is here. Okay. Measure 3 feet, then you measure 4 feet, and you're going to use a tape measure and measure 5 feet across here. So you're coming off this mark here at 3 feet, and you are mating it up with your 4-foot mark, and you bring this string line over until you're 5 foot between there, and that gets the square on your initial layout. So it's not 100%, but when you're doing it by yourself, it has turned out to be a much simpler way than chasing a bunch of diagonals and whatnot. So I mean, you've still got a diagonal here, but you're not walking across the whole pad. So I brought that over. I've got my other stake over here, and yeah, right there, got a stake. And then right there, I've got a stake. Okay, so my layout is pretty well set. I wasn't worried about running a string line on these other parts right now. I brought up our 4x4 posts. These are cedar post 4x4, 8 foot long, and I will just cut off the excess. But those will be the piers for the cabin. Some of those are left over from the last project, and the rest of them I went and purchased. So those will be the piers. Not sure if I'll get building materials delivered today or not, but I am going to go ahead and set up my batter boards on these 4 corners, and that way I can really get this thing honed in on being square and get it set. And then I'll begin marking holes with the with paint, and I will come along and I'll just use the excavator to dig my pier holes, set them, and like I said, not sure if I'm going to get materials delivered today or not. If so, I might mix up some concrete. It's a lighter day for me. I've got some commitments this afternoon, so see what I can get done. But basic layout's done. Pads here. They still haven't picked up the dozer, so I wish I'd have known that. I'd have done something with it, used it some more maybe. Mini X is here. It's going to stay for right now. Once I get the piers dug, I'll probably take the Mini X out of here. No sense in leaving it. So let's see what we can get done. All right, guys. So after I have got my 4 corners set, I'm now going to take some stakes and I'm going to drive them at each corner. And then I'm going to use the transit to put a mark on these stakes. So the stakes that I'm driving at the corner, the wooden stakes, are going to be for the batter boards to secure to. And that transit mark is going to keep everything laser level. And that way, when I pull my string line across here, I'll be able to see the difference in the ground and what I need to build up to, and help me with my post height when I go to set those in the future. But once your batter boards are set, just doing some diagonal measurements, making sure everything's right, pulling the string line back across there again, and just getting things kind of finalized that way. And, you know, there's a little bit of tweaking, but that's easy with moving the strings back and forth. All you got to do is pull the screw up and scoot it over left or right to get things kind of lined back out again. All right, so batter boards are up on the corners, and we got our string line pulled. If you've not ever used these, you can, the reason you put the batter boards up is because you can move your screw side to side to move your string line to get everything square for your final measurements. So you get it rough with the 3-4-5 rule, and then you'll set up your batter boards and be able to use the strings to kind of move things back and forth. All right. And then you're just getting the string centered up over top of your stake, like so. In hindsight, I would have done these ones here the same as I did those downhill ones. But, you know, live and learn. So that's just part of it. I can thank ChatGPT for giving me the idea on using 2 of them, because I was trying to figure out how wide the board should be here, and then I got to looking at pictures, and I'm like, well, could have done it that way. I've only used these once before, so, and it was like midway through the other cabin. So for by myself right now, it looks like I've got everything within a 1/2 inch of square. Good enough to set the piers on, and then I will really finalize that when I have when I set my rim joists up on top of the piers. I can really kind of tweak things and get it just right. But we're in good shape to go ahead and start digging piers, getting those set, and see where we are at from there. Anyways, that's how you lay it out. So trying to get you all in or involved as much as I can. So see how it goes. No promises, but we're off to a good start, right? We got the pad, the dozer rental, and the layout, the initial layout, now the batter boards. So I'm trying, folks. I'm trying. All right, let's see how it goes from here. I reckon that'll be about the end of this one. I'm not sure. If it is, Mountain Wizard out. If it's not, I'm going to keep recording. All right, guys. Catch up with you here in a bit. See ya.